Talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you see him. We all hear, and to me at least, in my opinion, as I said, in my perspective, I see this many times. Pray to Allah, ask for Allah's forgiveness, do this, do that. But to me, I rarely heard just talk to Allah. Talk to him as if he's your friend. We have those, how we all do, like we're best friends. We do have those late night phone calls, right? Do that with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Talk about your day with him. Thank him for his tests that he tests you with. Thank him for his punishments that he punishes you with, because it disciplines you. It makes you not disobey him again. Talk to him. There is no specific code, guys. There is no specific code when it comes to talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't need some specific dua that you look at and you go, yeah, I love this dua. This is a good one. I'm just going to memorize this dua and I'm going to use it. No. Just talk to Allah. Talk to him on the top of your head. Just say whatever, like you're talking to a friend. Talk to Allah. Have a conversation with him. I know it sounds ridiculous. It sounds very silly, in fact. But this is coming from someone that had, as I said before in my previous videos, borderline severe anxiety. So, anyone that has anxiety, they talk to themselves a lot to calm themselves down, right? I used to talk to myself so many times. Always I talk to myself and nobody else. I isolate myself from people, I start talking to myself. Until, of course, if you've seen my very first post, the one whom I call the ticket to Allah, who has unfortunately passed away 2 years now, she changed my life. And of course, not one thing in my life do I not dedicate to her. SubhanAllah. And from that, I speak to Allah every day, no matter what I am doing. Even when I'm operating on patients, as I am a dentist, I speak to Allah. I ask him, oh Allah, help me with this case. Oh Allah, thank you for helping me with this case. Oh Allah, thank you for testing me with this case, a difficult case. Things like that, all of these things. And the thing is, I do it subconsciously because I've been doing it for so long now. It became subconscious. SubhanAllah. There's even a famous hadith that says this. It's very similar. So it says, الإحسان أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. And also, الإحسان أن تخشى الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. And also, الإحسان أن تعمل لله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. So what are these translations for all of these things? So basically it's saying is to be a good servant. You need to worship Allah as if you can see him. For if you can't see him, he sees you. And the second one, which was, what was it? Oh, takhsha. Fear Allah as if you can see him. For example, let's just go for an example. You're walking down a dark alleyway, You're afraid because there could be a thief there or a murderer or whatever, right? So you obviously see them, and let's say you're looking at the end of the alleyway, and you see the thief, right? So what are you gonna do? You turn back. You see them, you're afraid. Do that with Allah. Fear him as if you can see him, for if you don't see him, he sees you. And so work, so do good things for Allah as if you can see him, like you're doing a favor for someone that you like or care about or love, right? You do a favor for them. Do the same for Allah. Work for Allah. Do good for Allah as if you can see him, for if you don't see him, he sees you. Subhanallah. So talk to Allah casually, and I don't mean casually as in, you know what I mean. You know what, let's just go for an example right now. Oh Allah, thank you for helping me make this video. I hope it reaches as many servants of yours as possible, for you are the all-capable, you are the all-merciful, and please, Allah, forgive them for their sins, the ones they know, the ones they don't know. All of these are at the top of my head, and you can tell because I'm stuttering so much. See what I'm talking about? Subconsciously, just talk to Allah. Don't memorize a bunch of du'as and just use those. Yes, it's good to memorize du'as. That's if you don't know what to say. But you don't need, you don't need a specific cheat code in order to communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You communicate with Him as if you communicate with everybody else. In fact, you communicate with Him much easier than everybody else. Because He hears everything, sees everything, knows everything. That's also part of yaqeen, by the way. The difference between, as we said before, I think we've said it before, yaqeen is complete, full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is an incomplete. And yaqeen is, of course, the most difficult thing for you to have. But that does not mean it's impossible. So in terms of yaqeen as well, speak to Allah as if you see Him. Also, isolate yourself with Allah every once in a while. Remember, this is coming from someone that has borderline severe anxiety. And I swear on my life, I know exactly what it feels like. I talk to myself, I calm myself down. Never once, ever since I started speaking to Allah as if I can see Him, it's almost like He lives in my head. I just feel Him every time. I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating, I swear. Never once when I speak to Him, it feels like I'm just talking to a wall or I'm talking to the roof. It does not feel at all like and it doesn't feel like I'm talking to myself or I'm talking to my inner voice for anxiety and no. I swear, it actually feels like I am talking to someone. Even though I am completely isolated. I isolate myself every once in a while and speak with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It does not feel at all like I'm speaking to myself. Subhanallah. And He answers me. That's the biggest thing. He answers me every time I ask Him something. I swear, He answers me. He answers me. He forgives me. He shows me ways. I ask Him for His permission. Like every time I make a new video, I actually ask for His permission. As I said through my video of the perfect decision method, I keep doing the perfect decision method. No choice whatsoever I make without asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first for His choice, and then I make the choice, so I know I'm making His choice. That's more in detail in that video. Subhanallah. So do the same. It will change your life. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. By the way, when you do that, He will give you signs. Just don't ask, how is Allah going to show you the signs? How is He going to answer you? Because obviously He's not going to answer you verbally, right? Yeah, He answers you through signs. And yes, He will make it obvious. You're talking about the all-capable. He will make it obvious. Every single one of us He communicates with differently. Subhanallah. Even though you have a difficult question, or just a simple question, or have something you lost, or want to replace, whatever it is, ask Allah first. Make it a constant thing that sticks in your mind. Whatever happens, you ask Allah first, then do whatever it is you want to do. It will change your life. Subhanallah.